What's up, people? Welcome back to another episode of Stars and Garters. I am Katie Pettit today, and it is Top 10 Tuesday. So, fun fact, you guys. Last week, I took my mom for Mother's Day and some of our friends as well to go watch Hamilton live. It was amazing. It was I don't really know what words to say. It was just really great, super impressive. You know, the whole Broadway thing, just everyone who does that is crazy good. Like, I don't even know how they do it, but it's really great, and it was an amazing day, and that the show was awesome, and I got a $75 hoodie because I was there. So yeah, since I did that so recently, I thought it would be appropriate for me to do a little Hamilton themed top 10. So I am going to do top 10 Hamilton songs because don't know what other kind of Hamilton top 10 I would do. So, um, at first I thought that 10 would be too much because didn't remember, I didn't know if it had too many songs, but Hamilton has like 46 songs, I think, so I think 10 is not gonna be a problem. And I was able to find 10. I actually had no trouble at all finding 10. It was very quick and pretty easy to rank them. So yeah, let's get started. Alright, I kind of have an maybe unexpected pick at number 10 because my number 10 is What Comes Next. Now, I know this is kind of odd since You'll Be Back exists. But honestly, the truth is, I've kind of always liked the performance, I guess, and just the whole kind of different vibe of What Comes Next more than You'll Be Back. And then it kind of when I went and saw Hamilton, it almost more solidified it for me because for that, I feel like even more so than You'll Be Back, uh, what is this? What Comes Next kind of allows King George to even more display his King George-ness. Because it's so funny. I think it's funnier than You'll Be Back. Especially the little I'm So Blue bit. The guy we saw it did it a little different from Jonathan Groff, but it was still really funny. And I think King George is just such a funny character, so you know. Um so yeah. What Comes Next, it's just overall, it's just a little more entertaining than You'll Be Back. I think it is a little bit shorter, but still, I know it just is more entertaining. They're both really funny, but I'm saying there's just a little more, I guess, drama. I mean, because King George is very dramatic, and that's what's so funny about him. But he's more so because he lost, and now he's being really pouty and whiny about it. And it's just so funny, and yeah, it's just the performance of it, especially for this one, is what does it for me. Because whoever is playing King George gets to have even more fun with being a little 10-year-old brat, basically. And it's very entertaining is the main thing with this one. Okay, moving on. At number 9, we actually have, my mom is going to be mad at Solo because this is my mom's favorite one in all of the Hamilton. So, but I have put it a little lower because it does not particularly, float my boat, I guess. But I still do think it's a great song. Because at number 9, we have Helpless, Eliza's first little thingy doober. So yeah, obviously I do love Helpless. I think it's a great song. It's not it's not as much my vibe. It's a little more I don't know, uh, light, I guess. I don't know if that's the right word. I like the more hypey type songs, and it's a little more like kind of cute and bouncy, which is good because I mean that's how that's it's Eliza's song. It's supposed to be more like that, but just it's a little lower because it's not my personal vibe. But despite that, it's still I still love the song. The writing here. I mean, Lin Manuel the Mini Manual Umbrella. Lin Manuel Miranda is a genius, and all of these songs, all of the wordage of every single one of these songs on this list, and all of the other ones, basically, is you know awesome. But there's some particular moments in Helpless that are just like you just wrote that. Like, do you even understand that you just thought of that? And it's like, do you know how cool that is? Like, it always makes me kind of laugh a little bit when it's uh 1 week later, I'm writing a letter nightly. Now my life gets better every letter that you write me, because that's just so fun and cool. I love that part. But there's like a bunch of other examples, and of course, it's a very important thing in the play. It shows like their whole love story and everything, and it's so lighthearted and just a really fun moment again, but it's also like really important and just the everything about it feels very like Eliza-ish. She has a different kind of sound. Again, it's more like it's lighter, it's higher, it's more bouncy, I guess, than a lot of the other things. There's a lot less rap in this one, even though, Alexander does get his little part, which is also great. It's kind of a different part of his personality that we haven't really seen up to this point, but it's still very much his, personality. It's just coming out in a different way now, so that's fun. But yeah, everything about this song is just very fun and like just it's just nice, and it's a vibe. It's a good time, basically, all the way through. The next song is not a good time for the characters, but in its own special way, it is kind of a good time to listen to. Um, which I mean, that may not be the best way to put it, but like it's just the way that. Okay, let me just say it. So at number 8, we have Eliza's other main song, "Burn." So if you'll recall, this song actually won uh, our me and Judah's little Hamilton bracket thing that we did a while back. It actually won out. That doesn't mean it's my favorite song. It's just the one we could most agree the good things about, I guess. So, it's the thing about Burn is it's just like so emotionally intense, and um, it's like all of the aspects have to be that way. Like the music is still, it's like very much Eliza's vibe. It's still like really kind of light and high, and it's just that kind of style. But it's also like now it's suddenly really like kind of scary and a little bit tense, because that's the situation that we're in right now. It's kind of tense right now. And so like the performance of this song is like a very big thing, because the performance also has to be very emotionally intense, and the girl that I saw live did a very good job with it. It's like you have to. It's crazy to me because you have to basically scream without like screaming. I'm not even saying like high notes, because this song doesn't get super high. But like you have to be really loud and sound angry, but still sing, which is a very impressive thing to do. And they both, Philippa Sue and the girl that we saw did very, very good job with that. And I mean, of course they did, because that's why they picked them. Um, and also the way that it's written is just, again, it just, all of it is contributing to this kind of like really uncomfortable feeling. But the reason that I like the song is because he does so good at making everything just kind of make you feel like tense and kind of sad. I mean, probably more sad for other people. I mean, I've obviously never been in this situation before, but I'm sure I would be very sad if I was. So yeah, there's like just everything about it is very well done to make it just a tense and not pleasant moment, but it is pleasant because of how good he did at making it unpleasant. Um, and like again, even the words of it like are very like Eliza. They're still like really you know, I don't know. They're just very in character for who Eliza has been shown to be throughout the play, but like now it's like, you know, she's she's mad, which is not something we've really seen because she's been very good about being chill, but now she's mad and she's just, it's this is the way that she gets mad, and it's not scary, it's not intimidating, it's just like tense and sad and just uncomfortable. But all of this in a good way because it's supposed to be. um so yeah, it's a very well done song, and I love to see people pull it off because it is such an important song throughout the play. All right, coming in at number 7, stepping away from Eliza for a minute. For just a minute, though. We'll be back to her soon. But I kind of have an interesting choice. I feel like maybe this isn't one of the more popular ones. I'm not saying it's not popular. I'm just saying it's not one of the big uh, moments or anything. Maybe it is. I don't know, but I feel like it might not be. But I still really like it a lot. Because at number 7 I have Aaron Burr, Sir. So this one I like. Uh, you know, it comes off of, you know, the big intro song, and it's actually starting to introduce you to the events of the play. But it's like also still keeping this tone that you've set with the intro song, where it's uh, you know, the style and everything, and it's, I feel like it uh, showcases like the whole crazy idea of like a Broadway hip hop thing even better than Alexander Hamilton, because there's a lot of singing in Alexander Hamilton and there's not that much singing at all in Aaron Burr. In Aaron Burr, sir, excuse me. And I mean, I like the singing. I'm just saying, I think it's really cool how he showcases like this is like still a like a Broadway production that's really awesome and cool in all the Broadway ways, but it's also a very well written, you know, rap and everything. So and they get all of these, and another great thing about it is there's all of these characters that are now being introduced, and you're seeing their personality being established through like the lines that they get, which, and it's all really well done. I especially love the part where, you know, the Alexander's 3 friends are introduced and they all get their own lines, except Hercules Mulligan, because we kind of pretend half of his part doesn't exist, but it, so we just kind of. But Lawrence and Lafayette's part is especially great. And you're just meeting all these people and they have their own lines that just show you, hey, this is how this person is, and you love them or you don't, I don't know, but I love them. And then you get to see, you know, Aaron Burr and Hamilton already being very different people, and you know, it's just all setting this up in a very really cool way. And you know, the story is being set up very clearly, but also the whole music behind it is just really cool and catchy. And it's this is a fun car song. I have had some fun with this song. Like it's like if you have it very loud in the car and you have some, what's the word, uh hopped up friends. That's not what I meant, but that's just some friends who are like that, because I feel like you know what I'm talking about. It can be a very good time, this song. Because it's, again, it's not particularly emotional or whatever, but it's just a lot of fun, and it's just cool. It's a vibe. So yeah, Aaron Burr, sir. Number 6. This has been the song that I've probably been listening to the most, because for some reason I didn't realize that like any of the songs except this one were clean. I thought this was the only clean song, so I was like, cool, I can only listen to this song. So I only listened to this song for like a really long time, and then I was like, oh, there are other songs that are clean. Sick. So at number 6, I have the Schuyler Sisters, which, I mean, obviously, the first time I went through this, I really liked this song anyway. The first time I watched Hamilton, this song stood out because it's, the girls are doing their thing. We're meeting them. And it's, again, another, establishing moment for all these characters, and you're getting to see the sisters and their own cool personality, and it's another kind of switch in vibe, because the girls have a different vibe than these guys that we just met, or that we have been meeting for the past few times, and yet the girls are very different from each other as well, so it's just musically that stands out really well, and all of their different parts are written very differently. You get to see, it's mostly Angelica, and I personally love Angelica. She's a favorite for sure. So that's good for me. But then you still see Eliza, and she comes in with, more. She comes in with a higher part and more floaty, pretty lines and stuff like that. And then Angelica has her, her whole rap part, and she's kind of like the leader and everything, and you get to see that about her. And I personally do love Angelica's rap here. It's, you know, uh, I there's some things about it that are not there. There's like one part that's not. It's a little, it's a little much. It's a little pushy, but the rest of it is, it's just really great, and I love it. I love Angelica, all of her parts, and this is just a tiny, taste of Angelica's, this this of Angelica's like whole vibe and whole style, but it's a great little taste, and you also get to see Eliza too, and Peggy is also there, and we love Peggy. We love her, what, 2 lines? It's great. And but yeah, this, and Burr apparently has this thing about himself, which I didn't. It feels, it's almost odd for Burr, but it's also very funny because it feels like Burr is just so like straight laced and chill, and but he's also like, and then he's doing this, his whole line, his whole part in this almost feels like out of character, but it's funny. It's in a funny way. So this, again, this song is just pretty much all the way enjoyable and just fun. This one is also fun to sing with crazy people in a car, and you know, it gets really loud even if the music is not loud itself, because they scream at the end. It sounds really great. It's a great scream, but still, it's loud. um, and I'm not gonna say we always hit it because we usually don't, but it's a good time. So yeah, Skylar Sisters is super fun, super enjoyable. At number 5, interesting that this one came at the middle of the ranking, but this is the song that starts the whole thing. At number 5, I have Alexander Hamilton. Uh, like, honestly, I feel like because since this is the first one, and there are so many other great songs throughout, like all the way to the end of the play, like sometimes I feel like you can forget how much of a banger this one is, because like, and it is just, if you just listen to it by itself, a couple, like, not listening through the soundtrack, which I like to listen to all the songs. I've seen the recording of it a couple times, and I went to see it live, and we go all the way through it. But if you just like listen to this one separately, then you can remember that the first song is actually one of the biggest bangers in my opinion. It's really, the style is really kind of smooth and cool, and it's like telling the whole it's setting up everything. Like, this has to set up the whole play. This has to show you what this play is going to be like. It has to show you who these people are, but not like all the way. It's just kind of showing you, there's going to be different people, and it's just getting you excited for this whole play. And it does such a good job of that, because it's the right vibe of the whole play. It's the same style. And it's just, you're able to go from that song, like, and it makes sense for the whole rest of the play. It started with that. And it's like, it does a great job of setting up a lot of characters or moments and things like that without actually telling you much of anything about them. It's just like getting you excited and getting you interested, basically. And it tells you like a bunch of important things about the story, but you don't really know exactly what they mean by all of this yet. So as a setup just for the whole play, it's great, but also on its own, it's such a vibe. Like, honestly, every single part is so easy to just get into and just like love as a just part, as just like a song. It's so fun, it's catchy, it's cool. Everyone gets their little parts, and the last part with all the me eyes are especially fun to mess around with, because just is. So it's just it's really uh it's a great one, and I like to listen to it more by itself, so that I don't forget, with all the other awesome songs, that the first song was also really, really awesome. All right. So number 4, I wouldn't have said this the first few times I watched Hamilton, but I actually watched some top 20 or something songs from Hamilton, and this was actually number 1, and I was kind of like, what? I was like, really? This one? Because it just didn't seem like, I didn't even think it would be on the list, because I forgot about it. Because it's not a big character song, it's not, super uh fun, I guess. I mean, it is kind of. It wasn't as sticking in my brain as a lot of the other ones were. But then I have rewatched Hamilton since, and I've seen it live, and this more solidified that, okay, this actually is a really great song and really important to the play. Because at number 4, I have put Yorktown, in parentheses, the world turned upside down. So, I didn't realize it. I don't know why. There were so many other more standout-ish songs, and this is not where the play ends, but it's a very important part, because this is where they win the war, which is kind of a big deal. It's like the whole start of America. And it explains like their whole thing about winning the war, and everyone, and it is just such a big moment. And I just didn't realize that since there is so much more play left, I didn't realize how important of a moment this particularly was. But when I did, I was able to see how much Lin-Manuel Miranda was able to show how important it was in the way that the song is written, and how everybody gets their own little parts. I really like I do like Hercules Mulligan part here, clean version, because it's very hypey. And the first time I saw Hamilton, even though I didn't remember this song, Hercules Mulligan's part, I got really into it. Like, when he jumps out, I was like, oh yeah, and I didn't even remember who he was. I just liked the way he jumped out like a psychopath. I thought that was fun. So that is a great part. We've got it just shows everybody and all of the events that happened in the battle, but like in the music, which is really cool. They make it sound really intense when they're in all the intense parts, and then at the very end, when it starts to settle down, it like, and they actually won. It goes like totally quiet for a minute and gets super quiet, and then it gets super hypey at the end because like they won. They even say like they won the whole thing. Like this is important, and it just sounds awesome and like super intense, but then when they actually do win, it's just like awesome, and it's like you you know, it just is, it's great. And it feels great because you're like, okay, they won. This is great. This is what the whole play, like up until this point, has basically been about. And even though there's a lot of play left, this is still really, really awesome, for all of the characters, and just the whole deal, the whole performance, the whole song is just super, like it's just great. You know, this is what we've been wanting, and now we have it. So, it's awesome, the whole thing. All right, so we're at the podium now. We are, yeah, we're there. We're here. This is it. This is my three favorites, personally. Number three is another one that I did not quite appreciate until recently, because for some reason I thought it was like explicit, but it's not. um, so now I listen to it, and it was really great in the live performance. It was really fun, really well done, and everybody killed it as they usually do. Like I don't think they ever don't. I think that's not really a thing that happens in Broadway. I think you always have to do great. But they did great, and that's awesome. But I definitely have come to appreciate it a lot more because it's great in a lot of ways. But taking the bronze at number three, we have Nonstop. Now, unlike Yorktown, it's kind of a it has a lot of kind of big moments, I guess, for Alexander kind of thrown in there, but it's not a particularly huge moment in the play. It's just kind of it's more showing uh like Alexander's personality and the problems that he is running into because of who he is. And it's not like circumstantial. He's just being a little bit too much himself, and it's causing some problems for him, and a lot of things are happening to him, and a lot of them are good things, but there's kind of a problem how he is going about it, which is basically how this whole song is. And so, just first of all, the song is super catchy. The like, it has a great hook. With the "Why do you write like you're running out of time?" It's great. Um, all of the like rapping parts where they're explaining what is happening to Alexander, obviously, are very well written, and you're literally clearly explaining what is happening through a rap, which it you don't, I mean, don't really think about it, but that's kind of crazy because a lot of times, you know, rap makes no sense at all, and you have to make this make the most sense because we're trying to watch the play, and he does, and it's still super catchy, it's super cool, and it's a great, you know, it's a really well written rap. And you have that, and then I really, really love the part where everybody is overlapping and singing at the same time and singing all these different things, and it's kind of like getting intense. And it's just showing how many things are being affected by Alexander being himself, kind of to a little bit much of an extent. Um, and it's just all of these things are very well done to get to that. Um, and I love how he takes a lot of moments from other songs to and like puts them in the song, especially when they start singing all at the same time. Uh, Eliza gets helpless a little bit, which was I really like the fact that she sings her little helpless moment again, but it's like in a much more negative way because she's like, okay, he is not freaking listening to me. So like, yeah. that is not, so it's a bad helpless now. And then you have uh, Angelica, and she sings her little satisfied bit, but now she's kind of like, well, I knew it. He's kind of being a jerk right now. Um, and I kind of called this one, you guys. So she gets that moment. And then, Alexander has a lot of other moments that, like, the he gets what is it from when he says they're asking me to lead? I don't know, but he gets that, and there's just a lot of other little moments that are brought in from other songs, and it's just really nice to see how like things are changing, but they're also still have all these similar things to the events of the play before. It's just in a different way. And I think that's really fun to be like, hey, she said the thing, but oh, it means this now. Like it's so cool. And again, that's something that Lin Manuel does really well throughout this whole entire thing. He does it through the whole thing, but I think the end of Nonstop is like it's my favorite example of that. Him bringing a bunch of moments from the play together. I really love that. So, number 3 is Nonstop. All right, so number 1 and number 2, I'm not gonna say they could be interchangeable because I'm pretty I will stand by that this is a number 2 and number 1, but they're also they're kind of close. They're so different that they can't be that close, but I do get a lot of enjoyment from both of them, is what I'm trying to say. It's just in such different ways that they're not close necessarily. I just enjoy them so much. So I'm just saying that to say I still really, really, really love this song. Just it's so different from number 1, and number 1 is more my thing. But at number 2, I have Guns and Ships. So, this one is just like basically purely for the enjoyment of it. It's like being able to rap Guns and Ships well feels awesome, and sometimes I actually can, and it's super fun, and it feels like the greatest accomplishment of my life in that moment. I know it's not, but in that moment, I'm like, well, I just achieved all my goals, so that's fun. But like honestly, it's just so impressive. And he's rapping in a French accent. That's a whole nother thing. He's rapping super super fast, going like just really fast, and but he's also maintaining a French accent, which I assume is a good French accent. I don't know. I can't do a French accent, so I am assuming he's doing a good French accent. I assume if that he didn't do a good French accent, they wouldn't let him play Lafayette. He was a French person. So, uh, yeah, it's so impressive. And I feel like, rapping fast raps is obviously very impressive. But I feel like writing fast raps also has to be really hard because he's saying so many words. Um, in like, and they have to go together and like make sense and not just be like blah blah blah. He has to actually say words in a sentence, basically. I feel like writing fast raps has to be really hard too. So again, Lin-Manuel Miranda is impressive. He's very talented. And I forgot that this one was clean too, which is, it's like a rap basically all the way through, and it's one of the more obvious, like, rap parts, I guess, of the play, and it's clean, which, rap often isn't. And this is one of the more obviously rap parts of the play, and the song is actually, I'm pretty sure it's like all the way clean, so that's great. And then not that this is the main appeal of the song, but I also really do like Washington's little singing part because, first of all, the guy who sings, the original cast, I cannot remember his name. I can't remember it, but he has a really nice voice, and it's very pleasant to listen to, and obviously it's we're calling back to the original Alexander Hamilton little hook thing. Um, which yeah, and it's that is just a very pleasant part, and then you go back to the rapping, or you it's that it's a very pleasant part, and but you also still have the rapping, which is just incredibly hypey. It's just hype all the way through, and it's fun to attempt, but it's also very fun to listen to because you're just like, good for you. Like it's very impressive. And when I saw it live, it was not. It was very like it was different from uh, David Diggs. It was different from the original cast, but like seeing it live was still just. It was so impressive. Like I didn't care that it didn't sound like the original. It like he. I mean, he has a different voice. He's a different human being. Um, but it was still just so impressive. I was like, you like you are in front of a lot of people right now on this stage, and you're having to remember like where you're supposed to be because you're also in a play, but you're also having to actually get all these lines and this whole rap right. And it's so impressive. That is a very impressive song, but possibly even more impressive. Well, I mean, in my opinion, yes, it is more impressive than Guns and Ships. It's my number one. The winner, essentially, of my list, is just it. I love it. Like I don't know how else to explain. I just love this song. I love every single thing about this song. I love the character who's doing it. I love the singing parts. I love the rapping parts. I love the moment of the story that it is, and I love the way it's written. And I just love everything about it. I love the song. My number one is Satisfied. Angelica's one whole solo song. I think she should have gotten more. Obviously, it works perfectly the way it is now. I'm sure she has plenty of moments. I'm just saying I love Angelica. She's great. I love that she's, the smartest. She's the oldest and the wittiest and all the things. Um and I love her character and how she is, and that she's like just this really smart chick, and that's just so fun about her character. Um, and the oldest sister, she acts like an oldest sister, which is I know how that is. So, but the way that the way that her song is so different from anybody else's, um, because it's like it just is. It's just a different style, and it's my favorite because she has moments where she just goes off and like belts and riffs and does all of that. Has an amazing, beautiful voice. The girl who played her when we went to see it live did some extra little riffs and stuff that weren't even in the recording, which I loved. I was like, oh, because I was gonna be impressed if she did it exactly the same way, but then I was extra special surprised impressed because she added some like little extra things in there, so that was really cool. But she has some amazing vocal moments where she just goes off completely, and it's awesome. She has some parts where she basically has to like rap sing, where she's still singing, but it's really fast and it still has to sound good. And then she has some, if you don't notice, I know Guns and Chips is fast, but like Satisfied has like a decently fast rap part as well. Uh, I'd say it's kind of close. It's still very impressive on its own, but like unlike Guns and Chips, you have to do all three of those things, which are hard things to do. But you have to do them really well, and Angelica can because that's how Angelica is, and I think that um is just like so this song is just so the way the song sounds and the way it's written just are so good at showing Angelica's personality of being the really smart oldest sister who's kind of in charge and like a very leader type person. um, and yeah, all of that is very well showcased. And also, this is a really important and it's like it should be. a very emotionally intense moment for Angelica. But the great thing about this one is the way it's written are to Angelica's personality is she's not just the spewing out all of this emotion and being very emotionally intense. It because that's not the way she is. She's like, you know, kind of disguising it, and it sounds more like she's analyzing the situation, and it gets when she starts singing, sometimes it can sound a little more emotionally intense, but she's not Eliza. Eliza just throws it all out there, and it sounds exactly how she's feeling, and it's very, very emotionally intense. And Angelica is more analytical, and she's not happy with the situation, and she is feeling a lot of things, but she's not presenting it to everybody. She's like analyzing the situation and being like, okay, here's what happens. That sucks. So, her song, like that personality and the way it comes through in the song is just, I love it. I love it so much. It's so well done, and it goes throughout the whole song, and it's awesome. The song is so fun to sing. Like, there's so many hard parts, and it's so fun to fail at them, and it's fun to do it right, and it's fun to just listen to. It's not a fun song. Angelica is not having a good time, but it's just written again really well. The whole thing is written really well, really well. But I love excuse me. I love Satisfied so much. I love everything about it. Again, it is my favorite Hamilton song of all time. All right. So yeah, that's it. That's the list. Thank you guys for watching or listening or whatever you did. I already asked you guys what your favorite Hamilton song was from the bracket that I did with Judah. So I will ask you. I don't know what I'm gonna ask you. TBH. Should have thought of it before. I did not do that. I'll ask you who your favorite character, I guess. Would you even say character? I don't know. Who your favorite person in Hamilton is. It can be for any reason. It can be for their personality, it could be for their voice, it could be for whatever. I don't care. Just tell me who your favorite person in Hamilton is. And why. Just getting one word answers. That's boring. And follow, subscribe, share, like, I don't know, do the things. You can, do all those things. And yeah, I will see you guys next time. Bye-bye.